Hi, I'm Mike Madison with the Winthrop News, and I'm joined by GFW girls basketball coach Rich Bussey. Good afternoon, Rich.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing well.
Great. As with this fall sports, things were a little different for the athletes and the coaches. With the new COVID protocols, how has that affected practices, and how will that make some changes in games?
Well, I think when you start talking COVID, you have to go back to almost April, when the kids and all of us were basically sent home for a while, and kind of changed everybody's habits and activity. And so I think when you start a sport like we did in the fall with football, and now and volleyball, and now with the basketball and the dance seasons, it seems to be there's a little bit extra time needed to get the bodies acclimated to the sport again. And you would have that in a typical year, I think. But this year, I think you notice it takes a few extra days to get the body there. If you look at it in this week instance, and the guidance that's given to us, playing with a mask on is a challenge, as the kids will tell you. But I think, like anything else, the more you do it, the more you practice with it, the more of a habit it becomes, and kind of second nature. So both of those things have to be considered as coaches as you prepare your kids for competitions.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I think the kids over the course of the first few weeks of the seasons will likely adapt.
Okay. In the fall, limited amount of fans in the stands. How will it be this for the winter?
It's very similar, with a few changes. It reads now, the recommendation is two fans per active participant, which is what we followed for volleyball. I'll use volleyball because it was an indoor sport. What we can now do is expand that to 25% capacity, or no more than 150 people. So on any given night, we of course will still have the 2 fans per active participant, and those passes will go out to each player to use within their family. But there may be instances, depending on the size of the roster from the other team, we should be able to get a few more fans in the gym. Again, that will change from one game to the next, based primarily on roster size.
Okay.
And what we do with those extra tickets from game to game will also change. I think sometimes it might be a general public ticket, sometimes it might be a student body ticket. We're still working that piece out, but it does look like we'll be able to get a few more people in the gym than we did in the fall.
Okay, great. Got some players back from this year. If you could kind of take me through some of the qualities that they bring to the court.
Sure. On our senior side, we bring back Abby Heimkes and Riley Sabo. Abby led us in rebounding last year and was our second leading scorer. She has a knack for putting it in the basket, which never hurts to have that knack. And Riley is, she's kind of a knack for putting herself in the right spot. And we hope she can expand that to the point where it puts her in the spot to score a few more buckets. Bryn Bussey comes back as our point guard from last year. She led our team in scoring last year and in assists. And the thing I've noticed in her game that's evolved from last year is she's doing a better job of putting her teammates in position to score. That element as a point guard of learning how to control the other players on the floor, I think she's starting to get that. And when she can do that, of course, now your teammates will perform better because you're putting them in positions to do so. Morgan Allsworth played a few minutes last year for us on the varsity side. She's another one that can. I think she led the B squad last year in scoring, and she has the ability to knock down some perimeter shots, which we greatly need. And it'll be nice to lean on her for a little bit of that. Also, I guess joining the roster, Taylor Haas played significant minutes for us last year. Gritty is the first word that always comes to my mind with her. She was one of our best defenders, would draw that assignment from game to game on perimeter players. She's still coming off of a knee injury, so when she rejoins us, still to be determined, but we look forward to getting that weapon back on the floor for us. And then there are a few other players coming from the B squad last year that they're going to have an opportunity to make an impact. Olivia Schwarzrock has had a good week of practice so far. She's gonna have to be a necessary tool in our in our box. Emily Keene, you're always going to get energy when you bring her out on the floor. Something is going to happen with her out there, and it usually lights a fire under the other people that she's playing with. And we have some younger kids that are going to get their chance to play um, sooner than later.
Okay.
So we'll. I can't speak to exactly what they're going to bring.
Sure.
I see some glimpses, but I think we're all going to see those at the same time.
You bet. All right. Very good. What aspects of the game are the girls thriving with right now, and what are you working on in practice to improve?
Well, I think we always like to hang our hat on what we can do defensively, and that's always in your control. It's percentage-wise mostly an effort thing. There's some concentration to that element as well, and the girls seem to have a desire to do that and an energy about it. So I'm excited for maybe what we can create defensively for our offense. The challenge for us is scoring the ball. I think we were in the bottom 3 in the conference last year, shooting percentage-wise. We spent this summer was a little different. We weren't really allowed to play in any tournaments, enter tournaments, play games. All the work we had to do, we did within our own unit in the gym, and so we made that our goal this summer to get up as many shots as possible. We gave everybody a minimum of 5,000 attempts, and most surpassed that. Many doubled it. We were over 100,000 attempts in the month, about a month span from June to July. It is showing up in practice in the sense of time that you would spend correcting some shooting technique. We've noticed that this looks about where we left it off in July, and of course you hope that that practice and that time that we spent on that turns into a higher shooting percentage, and obviously it's about putting the ball in the hole. So if you can do that a little bit better, that translates to a better game of basketball.
Sure. How do you see the conference shaping up this year?
A little bit like last year, in the sense that the returning conference champion in Sleepy Eye St. Mary's brings a very strong team back from last year, and certainly the best player of the year last year in our conference in Maddie Mathewitz. So they have a reason to expect to be near the top. And they're a good team. You can't take anything away from them. We certainly expect that from them. Buffalo Lake Hector will be another strong team. Not a lot of players, but they have a few really talented kids that know how to score the ball, spend a lot of time in the gym. I think they will certainly be a team to battle with. And then there's a lot of teams that come right after that are maybe, we'll call them unproven, but have some ability. I'd like to think that we can get there when we're at full strength. I like to think that that's a team that we can be. Springfield is young, but I think coming around. Sleepy Eye has some good young talent on it. MVL has a few kids on it that are that fit that mix as well. So there's another 4, 5, 6 teams right after that just I think someone's going to rise to the top out of that, of course. And I think all of them have an opportunity to do so.
Hopefully we get to make it through the year. But if we do, is there going to be a postseason at all? Or?
Yeah, you're right, Dan. There's nothing guaranteed. We're guaranteed, I think, practice today. Right. After that, it's kind of a day by day. But nothing has been nailed down as certain yet. But the chatter has been that they want there to be a postseason. They want it to look, I think, at a minimum like a section tournament, kind of like football played out. That was the intention for volleyball before everything was shut down on the 21st of November. It may be a modified tournament. What I mean by that is it might just only include the top 8 teams in the section rather than 2 subsections of 8 and a full slate of 16 teams. That's all still to be determined. That's what the conversation has been up to this point.
Okay, all right. And lastly, what are you looking out of the T-Bird squad this year?
Well, it seems like I say this a lot, but I think that's the nature of high school athletics, is that you're kind of curious as to what's this team going to be. It's you don't pick your group of kids like you do at the next level. You're not guaranteed through a draft what kind of players you're going to get. You coach the kids that are in your program and in your school, and it seems like every year there are surprises on every single team. And my expectation is that we just see them, that they see themselves get better every single day, whether it's a 10-minute practice, a shoot around, whether it's a game, whether it's a film session, a weight room session, that they see themselves getting better, that they that fuels their energy to do so. And I hope that when and we're able to put a few people in the stands, people can watch it, I guess live streamed as well. But when they watch us play, I hope they're able to see a team that brings a lot of energy, a team that pulls for each other, and represents GFW in the highest regard every time we take the floor.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Rich, and good luck this season.
Thanks, Mike.